Hi everyone, welcome to Jaja Jaws. Parenting is difficult at the best of times. Human beings are complicated, intricate little messes from day one. And when you take on responsibility for one, when you say you're going to take them and help guide them to be a relatively decent version of the person they're going to become, you are taking on an enormous task. People are messy, and life is messy, and when you blend those two messes together and try to chart some course for sanity, there's no way it's going to be anything other than hard. But there are things that can make it more difficult, just as there are things that can make it easier. I have one profound thing that makes it easier, which is that I do not have to worry about a home or food for my children. My parents have worked in social justice my entire life, and so I have seen firsthand the kind of stress and strain it puts on a parent when they watch their children not have enough to eat, or when they don't know where their kids are going to sleep at night. That is a pain that I am thankful to have been spared. And I never forget that my life has been one where I am lucky enough that that's not an issue for me. That being said, there are some difficulties in my life. And recently, with COVID and the ongoing isolation and the ongoing stress and strain of simply being a human being living through extraordinary times, things have been a little rough in our home. My son, who is not neurotypical, actually says that he is living his best life right now. He's not being forced to go to school because I am homeschooling both of my children, which means that he gets to learn at his own pace and has someone to coach him through the rough bits. And once we're positive that he has mastered a subject, we move on instead of making him do repetitive busy work. And frankly, he is like a pig in mud. Right now, he's so happy. He's so happy. And that is probably the bright shining star in all of this for me, that my son is happy. My daughter, who is also not neurotypical, but much closer to average on the brain functioning spectrum than my son is a social butterfly. And as we come up on a year without her seeing her friends in person, the weight of that on her is profound, and it shows in a lot of different ways. She is struggling with depression as she deals with this isolation and the fact that we are on top of each other all day long, every day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 52 weeks a year as we come up on a year. Thank God for the internet, because without the internet, she wouldn't even be able to have the contact with her friends that she does have. So whatever people think of children and their screen time, I have to say I feel blessed to be living in a time where screen time is a possibility. If we had to live through a pandemic, I would much rather live through a pandemic when my kid can still talk to her friends over various internet apps. But being able to talk to them is not the same thing as seeing them. And she is drowning in depression in a way that I can relate to on a profound level. because when I was 15, my family moved to a foreign country, and I left all my friends behind, and I didn't know anyone, and I couldn't speak the language, and I couldn't connect with anyone on that deep emotional level. And all of my friends were far away at the end of an email, not up close and personal where I could be with them and talk to them. So I understand my daughter's depression, and I have been doing my best to mitigate it and to alleviate it and to not set unnecessary boundaries on her where those boundaries will only exacerbate the isolation that she feels. But I am still her mother, and she is still a child. And when given free rein, she will stay up all night long and not sleep, and then be a bear the next day and scream at me and scream at her brother and not get any of her work done or her homeschooling or her chores. And as her parent, I feel an obligation to teach her that boundaries exist and that they are a real thing. Not to mention, as a human being, feeling like I need to have my own boundaries for my own sanity, because make no mistake, my daughter is not the only one having a hard time right now. She got her extrovert nature from me. And the people that make my life meaningful are all so far away right now. And I miss them so much. So I need things right now too, and one of the things that I need is for my daughter not to hate me just because I've asked her to wake up and do her math work. So we have been fighting. My daughter has been fighting with me. She has been rebelling against every boundary I set, no matter how reasonable. And my son, in turn, has been finding his quarantine less fun than he was finding it before, because while he is not neurotypical, he is extremely sensitive to the emotional states of the people around him. So when my daughter screams that she hates me and I feel miserable because of that, it is a weight on him. And what my son does when he doesn't know what to do and when he is miserable is he clings to me and he asks me to make it all better, which I want to do because I am his mother. And I do not know any mother worthy of the title who does not wish that she could solve such things for her children. So my son clings to me and asks me to fix everything and make everything better in a time when I feel like I have so little control over anything and can't make anything better. And my daughter screams that she hates me because, well, I'm asking her not to treat me like garbage and to maintain her responsibilities. And between those two things, I feel overwhelmed because I'm not sure as my son grows and gets older that I'm actually strong enough to lift him up all on my own. And I don't know that I can keep my daughter from careening off course without other people helping me. But the thing about quarantine that is profoundly unifying is that all of us are in this on our own. We live in our houses and we do not have outside support because who you were with when this all began is who you are with now. It is me and my son and my daughter. And I am the only adult in that scenario, which means no matter how difficult it is, I have have to wake up in the morning and pull myself up from imaginary bootstraps that I don't even have and take the next step into the next day, no matter what. In the second Frozen movie, Anna sings the song, "Do the Next Right Thing." And I'll be honest, I felt like that song was not dark enough because it was written by Disney. The actual feeling in that moment when you know that the only thing you can do is take another step and do what you're supposed to do next, even when you feel like just giving up and dying. That's a level of darkness that Disney's never going to portray because they don't want to break children's hearts. But the phrase stuck with me. I thought it was profound, even if I didn't think that Disney treated it with the profundity that it deserved. Right now, I feel like my children are ripping me in half. And all I can do from moment to moment is the next right thing. And just pray that that will be enough. This was not a happy video. And it's not a happy art piece. But sometimes I feel like one of the biggest disservices we do to parents is hide how painful it can be, and how hard it can be, and how isolating it can be. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to hide the bad parts. I want us all to admit that the bad parts are there. Especially now when all of this is going on. So, I'm sorry in an empathetic sense that this is a sad video. But I'm not sorry in a culpability sense. Because I feel like it's important that we admit and acknowledge when life is dragging us down, and when we are struggling to stay afloat, and when it is everything that we can do to do the next right thing. Thank you for watching and for listening. And I hope whatever your pandemic experience is, that you are making it through, however you can. Because there's no right or wrong here. There's just all of us doing the best we can with what we're given. See you soon.